6 cell. 4 cell. 12. 4 cell.
Recentered.
5 cell. 4 cell. 7 cell. 4 5.
Recentered.
12 cell. 8 cell. 8 cell. 8 cell. 28 cell. 10 cell. 9 cell. 10.
Recentered. 75.
15 cell. 4 5 5 11 5 cell. 7 5 4 5 cell. 7 cell.
Recentered. Recentered.
5 5 7 cell. 4 5
Recentered.
7 5 6 5
Recentered.
15 cell. 5 cell. 5 5 4 5 5 5 6 5 5 cell. 4 5 9 cell. 8 cell. 4 cell. 4 cell. 4 cell. 5 5
Recentered.
4 cell.
Recentered. Recentered.
5 cell. 10 cell. 4 5
Recentered.
5 cell. 5 5
Recentered.
4 5 8 5 5 5 6 5 4 cell. 4 5 5 5
Recentered.
5
Recentered.
5 5 5 5 5 5 5 6 cell. 4, sell.
13.
Buy. 4, buy. 5, sell. 4, sell.
Recentered. Recentered.
17, buy. 6, buy. 4, buy.
11.
4, buy. 6, buy. 6, buy. 4, buy. 5, buy. 4, buy.
15.
Sell. 4, buy. 5, buy.
Recentered. Recentered.
5, buy. 4, sell. 4, sell. 5, buy. 4, buy. 9,
9.
buy. 5, sell. 4, sell. 4, buy. 4, sell. 5, buy. 5, buy. 4, buy. 5, buy.
22.
Sell. 10, buy.
Recentered. Recentered.
10, buy. 4, buy.
10.
4.
Recentered. Recentered.
5, sell. 10, sell. 4, sell. 4, buy. 6, buy. 4, buy. 4, sell. 4, buy. 4, sell. 6, buy. 6, buy.
There's a double contract long here on the absorption of these sellers
50.
and the
Buy.
delta hitting. I would have been long 2 at 0 off of that.
5, buy.
For context, the LVM's at Shelling Point. There's a big ledge on SPOOs. Shelling Point 4, a tick above that is this huge drop-off period. NASDAQ, she's got this really wide, ugly profile, and I'm just dialed in reading the tape here. These meta orders that hit on the non-cumulative tape down into threes, down into twos, along with sell delta in my ear, and what looked like on tape a pretty solid bid that wasn't spoofing. It was low size and fluctuated by 20 to 30 contracts rather than fluctuating wildly, made me think that there's a real order there that absorbed all of those people. But on the fading of the delta and the meta orders, I would have been long 2 here at a 1, I believe. Let me go back. But
4, sell.
yeah, it would have been at zeros because they couldn't clear ones.
6, buy. 6.
It would have been at zeros, yeah. And the type of reaction from buyers I'd want, that doesn't look like retail. It looks like short-term absence of inventory. through the absorption of meta orders by a passive limit participant, which appears to be either a market maker or a real institutional order, absorbing and producing a short-term price imbalance. So I would want not necessarily meta order participation on the tape, but just for the Q to show a moderate size of aggression to confirm my suspicions here. If I was long 2 at 0 off of this absorption, the two thicker parts of this little profile we're trading, the overnight profile is really messed up. It's like a 30 tick range. It typically isn't that. That makes me think if an RTH profile would work better. I'd have to look into how to set it up, etc., etc. You know, is it more valuable for next day intraday trading, or is the recency of the cash flow from the overnight trades more important? If you have any data or studies, or people have crunched the numbers and found that the previous day cash volume profile values are more valuable than the cash and electronic trading volume profile values combined, which is what I'm using right now, a 24-hour, go ahead and tell me. I would be long off of this absorption and looking for an initiative response from the buy queue and not so much the tape.
6, 5,
50, buy.
Meta order hits for 50.
5, buy,
Lack of initiative
Five.
here. If I let it breathe, I would have scratched by now.
5, buy, 6, buy,
10,
buy,
Meta order
Five,
twop
four,
now
five,
in my
four.
favor, so I either would have scratched the trade or won it. The primary indicator for the entry, is the fading of that tape, the ask that was absorbed, but then it looks like the meta order bids that pile in afterwards in my favor, assuming I was long, vastly outweigh those. So the trade would have won for a different signal had I left it on and the initiative push from passive limit orders wasn't there. So it probably would have been 2 scratches.
Four, sell,
10, sell.
6, sell, 4, sell, 6, 5,
It's a solid delta short here.
Recentered.
25,
Hit 2 on continued selling in the sell delta.
Recentered.
The aggressive stacking that would have
sell,
produced was much more exaggerated than expected. 3 is a low volume node shelling point. I heard sell delta. I didn't Q was low on the ask, but it wasn't really. Q was low on the ask, but it wasn't depopulating. It wasn't pulling. It was only like 40, but it was a slow grind. Surprising sell delta. That was at 1, and right at 0 and 9 was a thicker part of a pro. So it was technically a shelling point. I would have gotten short because of that delta. And also partially the responsive fade of meta orders hitting all those buyers that push price up, but mainly the delta. I have to stop talking, we're not going to get through this.
sell,
This delta is persisting. I'd rather be short here at 3s because buyers can't
6,
lift.
sell,
9, sell.
The bid stacks at 3.
4, sell,
24, sell.
Still
Six,
selling
sell.
though.
8,
buy,
I would have probably lost on this whipsaw. I partially feel the short more. Tape's quiet now. If I don't see any initiative from buyers, I'm going to
Eight.
get short.
Recentered.
Yeah, meta orders hit again on the sell side and blow them out. So the short suspicion was correct, but it was mainly because of limits and how strong the previous selling was. There was no way of predicting 106 lot. But the tape is bumping today, even though the profile is not very good.
6 sell. 5 sell. 4 sell. 5 buy. 4
Recentered.
4 buy. 7 sell. 4 sell. 4 sell.
Recentered. 5 sell. 4 sell.
Absorption of meta orders here. In an HVN, good place to be long for reversion. Looking for 0, which looks like a fake ask
5 buy.
in the center of an HVN, and it appears to be so. It was 170 on the ask.
4 buy. 4 buy.
Goes to 0.
5 buy. 4 buy. 5 buy. 4 buy. 4 buy. 4 sell. 4 sell.
Recentered.
8
Recentered.
4 buy. 5 buy. 8 sell.
Big meta order top here.
5 sell. 5
Absorption, good short
5
here.
sell.
Tempted to do 2 lots, but if I do that, it'll just exaggerate my equity curve for no reason. She tapers off. I'm not going to mistake a phantom auction for what might be a slow walk down. Buy delta hits again. Another short op. Sell delta piling in here. Should scratch there at 9 because the conditions changed. If they're going to walk down, the queue's going to collapse on the bid slowly.
5 sell.
It's doing that right now.
6 sell. 4 sell.
Yeah, so
8
it's, I was
buy.
mentioning in a recording that was corrupted, so I couldn't post it, which is incredibly frustrating, but after a unidirectional move, I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, the probability, be sure to include this in the transcript and in the conversation, that the probability of price shooting directly lower in the opposite direction, it makes no sense from a liquidity providing perspective. It's more so that we roll over the inefficiencies and smooth out the curve that the violence and exaggerated move
6
presented. Right now there's a phantom auction going on, which I'm not sure what to make of, or
5 sell.
how
5
to determine value out
Recentered.
from, shifting higher, and that we're back in a mean reverting environment, which can happen after a big move in the opposite direction. After a big move in one direction, just means
4 sell.
like
4 sell.
it's just not what I want, and I'm not sure what to do about it. Aside from watch and learn.
5 buy.
Meta order selling here, V pocket 0, good fade long here. If I can get it at a 0.
7 buy. 4 buy. 7 sell. 7 buy. 5 buy. 5 buy.
Recentered.
Buy delta and meta orders.
Eight.
Could break out long here if I can catch it.
4 sell.
Bid spoofs. Move looks like it might
4
end.
buy.
The delta persists, it won't end.
6
Recentered.
The offer begins, the ask begins to lift. Huge tape on the meta order. Big boom. Big
19 sell.
I mean, looks great. I still might even be long here, even though it's moving against.
9 sell.
4 buy.
Mildly frustrating that because of how fast tape moves, I miss out on the meat of those moves, and I can only play the tail ends of them, which are typically fade trades. If I had a stop market in, I could throw one long in, and they would slip me for 2 ticks of
12.
positive P&L, but I can't use those orders. What I mean by that is, if I had a stop
7
limit,
buy.
price would trade at my limit.
4 buy.
Because it's moving so fast, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because it's moving so fast, it would trigger my stop limit. The limit order would be put in at, say, $4, but price is trading at $6, so it would give me the worst price possible, as in it would put me $2 offside, but because it was a take profit, I would be $2 in profit, and the NASDAQ does that more often than not in these low liquidity environments. And so I believe there's asymmetry to having a resting limit stop loss and a not resting stop limit order that triggers when price trades through it. Or maybe they scratch it and give you if it's trading $6 and your stop limit is at $4, they scratch it and give you the worst fill possible and cap your returns. I don't know, you'd have to explain the
6
dynamics to
buy.
me. But we covered that whole HVN, ton of buying here, huge amount of sell absorption. I have to go back because that tape was so pretty to watch. Spoos is still at value, so my suspicion regarding correlations is largely correct. NASDAQ is ripping.
4 sell. 4 sell. 5 sell.
Just selling, good breakout, good fade long here into value.
5 buy. 5 buy.
Meta orders kick in.
7 buy. 4 buy. 7 sell. 7 buy. 5 buy.
I have a little aggregated tape and non-aggregated tape box, cumulative tape, right in front of my DOMs that I think relies on Addis's window binding platform settings. I'm not sure if I could do it on Jigsaw, but I like it a lot. The benefit of moving to Jigsaw, first of all, I don't know how to get market depth on Jigsaw past 100 ticks. Past 100 levels of depth, which is a deal breaker, but I think there might be a way around it on live. I'm not sure because there's no information on it, but I would love to use Jigsaw instead because I could use more orders, and Athos has horrible order management. It's so bad.
5 buy.
Recentered.
4 buy. 5 buy. 4 buy.
Recentered.
Meta order buying here for a breakout.
7 sell.
19 sell.
Absorption. Fade trade here.
9 sell.
Unless the delta holds, then we scratch. Delta goes away.
5
Meta
sell.
orders absorbed. They were selling. I'd still look for a breakout here on quiet tape because value held,
12.
Buy.
but it's up to the queue now. Sell delta hitting. They want lower prices. They ate those ask meta orders. So good long here into this LVN.
6 buy.
Buy delta's going to kick in a second. They think they're going to miss out on the move, and that'll probably be the end.
5 sell. 6 Sell.
Having trouble breaking up on the limit side. Buy delta shows up again quietly.
5 buy.
A little bit of meta orders on the bid.
5 buy.
Recentered.
Full breakout.
6 sell.
Shoots up through the node. Oh, because news hit.
Recentered.
I had my alarm off because I wasn't watching tape today. I was at work,
5
so I couldn't trade. So this is a replay. This is a replay with no statistics, just narration because I couldn't trade it
7
because I was at work.
12.
5
14. 10.
5
I'm really tempted to fade this move, but I'm just going to go with the tape as long as I can.
7 sell.
We couldn't break 3 and 4,
Sell.
which is an HVN. There's a good short here,
4
actually.
sell. 6 sell.
I think 7 is going to be the turning point. There's a big bid there.
Recentered.
4 buy. 4 buy. 5 sell.
13. Sell.
4 sell. 6 buy. 4 buy. 6 buy. 4 buy. 5 buy.
There's a long here.
5 buy.
Looking for delta absorption. They keep hitting though. It'd be a good scratch now because the delta won't go away.
11. Sell.
I'd look for a
Recentered.
continuation trade short, but it looks pretty sticky.
5 buy.
Another long here, I'd think at 7, just to spite the delta mildly. I'm talking about ask delta. You hit. They tire out. Looking for initiative on the queue, preferably meta orders actually.
Recentered.
5 sell.
The meta orders hit the tape on the ask side, so I was wrong and I'm trying to scratch now. After I say that, the queue stacks moderately and then bid meta orders hit, but it doesn't look like it's enough. At this point, I'd most likely be partially fatigued. And price moving so volatile in multiple directions, I'm not sure how to trade from a short-term profile perspective. It would just be reading
10.
the flow. I know that 9 and 0 are shelling points with big bids on them, and that price stopped at 6 on the ask side.
8.
Buy. 4 buy. 6 buy.
I would be tempted to get short here
13.
Buy.
from a short-term option.
Recentered. Recentered.
Of a flow.
10 buy.
There's no flow to indicate getting short there, but I would just do it because we've been making markets for the past couple seconds. Saw a lot of meta order buying on the tape there. Bid delta exploded in my ear. They couldn't clear 4s though, so if I got in short for this market making trade, I wouldn't have been stopped out yet. But the initiative buying, especially after price rallying so aggressively, is something to be wary of.
Recentered. Recentered.
It actually turns in my favor
24.
as they absorb them. I'm looking for a spread of 5 down to 9 for an auction.
Buy.
Which is about
9. Sell.
6.
6
The reason
sell.
it says 5 to 9 is because I have my price aggregated on the NASDAQ so much to a point where it only shows maybe 2 values of the actual total price. So the actual ladder looks like 9 going from top down. 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0.
5 sell.
Is what my
12.
prices look like.
10 sell.
big
8
tape
sell.
bomb there on the ask that was absorbed. Good long 8 on an iceberg, right below VPOC.
4, 5,
I mean, huge iceberg at 8. I mean, it ate that meta order like crazy.
sell,
And the persistent sell delta.
14 sell.
But they
17
finally break through it.
17 sell.
5,
I think,
7, 5,
I don't know. They break through it and then they replenish and continue to absorb this really, really big delta
4,
imbalance.
5, 5, 5,
I would have gotten stopped out, I believe, and most likely maybe baited into a breakout short, and we went back to mean reversion, which is crazy. She shows up again, but quieter, this sell delta, but with no aggregated tape to boot, so I would go long 8s here,
Recentered.
which is where the berg originally was. And then the Q rate below it, the bid, which was 130, spoofed down to 40, which would be a reason to scratch and tell me I was losing. There's also no initiative participation so far. I'm a bit confused. What I'm assuming is going to happen is mean reversion or meta orders are going to push it in either direction. What confounds me is how much delta was thrown around on the ask side, and now they're gone and price is moving lower, which makes me think, and meta orders are still, which makes me think it's limit order price readjustment. We also have this big vacuum to the low side, so there's that. I just saw like 10 lots hit the tape. As I said that, I have the video paused right now, so it's probably going up. So most likely some sort of partial mean reversion, because it almost always never traverses the full value area as people break apart. You know, like if everybody knows the game theory incentive to defect before it is towards the end of a move, it's you're incentivized to defect rather than to participate, and everybody's trading value area rotations. If it hits the value area high, it's probably going higher because it hit the value area high and price was allowed to hit the value area high. And if you think it's going to hit the value area high if you're long at the value area low, if you think it's going to hit the value area high, most of the time it's going to stop in the middle of nowhere in reverse, because everybody wants it to hit the value area high.
4, sell,
But these meta orders
Recentered.
sell,
These meta orders hit and they
45.
don't hit the bids, so the mean reversion was wrong. Probably would have gotten stopped out there.
5, 5,
I would still try long again on a sweep of excess towards the profile, but I'm looking for an initiative Q stack on the bid. We finally get one, but it looks like it dwindles down to
Recentered.
0.
5, sell,
As it dwindles down to 0, 950. Was there news? 950? I have to check now. Tape explodes, 4x. Tape explodes, 3 ticks lower. I think I would have gotten burnt. I would have gotten eaten alive today, but that's how it be sometimes.
sell,
10
9,
recentered.
sell, 22, sell,
22 recentered.
Another absorption play. Not value area low. It's a ledge profile.
Recentered.
4, 5,
Recentered.
16, sell, 5, sell, 6, 5, 7, 5,
Delta absorbed here.
5,
Shelling
sell,
0.8.
four, sell, buy. 5 buy. 4
Yeah, they ran it all the way up from
4
3 up to 7.
10,
buy.
8,
4 buy. 5
Now meta
Recentered.
buying. I don't want to fade this. It's the early start of the move. I'd be long here.
Recentered.
4
I'd be
buy.
long 6. Very, very nasty Q today. I would have lost it. The breakout. I get
4
VPOC
sell.
now. I can't talk and watch.
9,
Buy. 4 buy. 6 buy. 4 buy. 5 sell.
They're letting it trade at VPOC. Market makers are. Tell me what that means.
14
You said
sell.
they don't want to trade against informed flow. They are trading with informed flow. The Q is light, albeit on the ask side, but it's thick on the bid side, which makes me think, because it's thick on the bid side, it's not really that much of a spoof, and it's a volume point of control. It makes me think there's positive asymmetry to the upside because they're letting them. Well, they're providing liquidity there, right, on the bid side, so they think selling to them at this price is a winning trade, which makes me think price is going to go lower.
5 sell. 5
Just from
sell.
a Q dynamic perspective, and it actually pulls, yeah, down to 8 in the short term before replenishing. So I'm not sure how to
8,
interpret liquidity being provided on the bid-ask
4
side at
buy.
volume point of control, because they're supposed to not provide it because it's informed flow,
6
right?
buy.
So
4 buy. 4 buy. 6 buy.
And how does the dynamic work where I suppose they're adjusting based on meta orders hitting the tape who are willing to buy? Yeah. They're adjusting based on meta orders hitting the tape and machine gun, CVD, sell delta, or buy delta in this case. Repricing based on that, and the ask begins to pull their orders or widen the spread artificially so they don't get ran over. I think is what's going on here.
8 sell.
Delta hits, ask is willing to provide, absorption trade, shelling point 5. Kind of a textbook short here. I'd be short 5s preemptively.
Recentered.
6 buy.
I'd most likely get ran over on big tape showing up.
Recentered.
Gotten ran over, yes, through the shelling point. So it was either too early. I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna watch tape and
6 buy. 4 buy.
8,
Buy. 4 buy.
9,
9 buy. 4 buy. 4 buy. 5 buy.
8 sell. 19 sell.
But I know there's
94.
here because of how
19.
many
19
orders
buy.
and how much
5
volatility there is
6 sell.
relative to
5
previous days
buy.
I was
5
trading.
sell.
It's like a good day to lose a lot of money, frankly.
4 sell. 4
I think
buy.
in the chaos,
5 buy.
the ability to scratch from
5
your
sell.
break even is a tremendous value because sometimes I can't make heads or tails of it, and I need to be able to lean on cutting my risk to near zero, if not zero, through scratches. I'm looking for
8
5s
sell.
for market
8
making
sell.
trade.
5 sell. 4 sell. Buy. 4
fives and then bids aggressively stack.
4, 5. 4, 5. 5, 5. 5, 5. 5, 5. 5, sell. 6, sell.
I'm trying not to trade the spread
4,
here at
sell.
4, but I'd most likely end up trading the spread
7, sell.
based on meta order selling. Try to go long here
4,
5,
5.
fade trade.
4, sell.
8. Recentered.
I've said that like 3
Sell.
times.
Recentered.
Trade, I would have gotten rid of
6,
all
sell.
of them. Should just not fade the delta here.
10,
That's what
sell.
the tape tells me to. Because they're hitting lower now, back into VBonk. Now there's a fade trade. I said that the Q
5, sell.
did, so there wasn't a short fade trade yet.
9.
5.
And now there is. It's 6. That would be scratch, re-entry here, another scratch,
4, sell. 6,
let me
sell.
out.
26. Sell.
Big absorption of meta orders. It would be much easier for me to just say go with the order flow, push lower until they shut up, and then see what it does afterwards. To keep insisting on fading price, especially in these conditions where it's just running on tape on these large
4,
orders,
sell.
and delta
4,
is
sell.
backing them up
4,
instead
sell.
of being faded.
4, sell.
So
4,
it varies
sell.
between
4,
days, I
5.
suppose.
Ten. Sell.
6, 5. 7, 5. 5, sell. 5, 5. 4, 5. 7, 5.
It's late delta chasing a move here. It's persisting. It's quiet. Limits dragging on the bid. I'd go short. Limits dragging as in meta orders hit, then sell delta, then limit orders stacked on the bid to try to get them to move off on the ask at 5. They couldn't push it, though the signal has decayed now. I wouldn't be able to get in short, but it was a good observation of tape nonetheless.
5, 5.
It was right about the value area high of VBonk.
5, sell. 4, 5. 5, 5. 4, 5. 4, sell.
Swap bid I'm hearing by delta is reason to long, frankly, at 5s. See if the market will follow suit
5,
on
sell.
whoever's bidding it up so aggressively. Actually gotten that trade wrong.
5, sell.
Delta
8.
quells,
Sell.
and we go back to VPOC. It mean reverts aggressively
5,
after
sell.
the delta disappears. So the statement remains the same that meta orders are the reason price
4,
moves.
sell.
I thought that bidder would really push price up, but they got absorbed and blown out spectacularly. We're back at VPOC again. Liquidity probably because of your informed flow statement on both sides. They don't want to
4,
populate
sell.
the queue.
87.
Sell.
Somebody sold 100 lot.
4, 5. 4, 5. 7, sell. Five.
14. Recentered. Recentered.
Five cell.
Tape exposure.
22 cell. 8.
Five.
8 cell.
4 cell. 5 cell.
Big meta order sell here, pushing price down. Sellers market so far.
Six cell. 5 cell.
9 cell.
4 cell. 4. 5.
Recentered. 9 cell.
4. 5. 6. 5.
15 cell.
Delta hitting and meta orders. I want to fade it. I'm not going to fade it. Just gonna go
8
with it until
cell.
they shut up.
5 cell.
8 cell.
5. 5. 4. 4. 5.
Recentered. Recentered.
6 cell. 6 cell.
We've gotten chopped up a bit, but these are good
Recentered.
opportunities to study because fading is going to lose you a lot of money and not fading is going to make you a lot. I'd like to know, today's 5/6/2026, I'd like to know what the gamma is for the options
15
data.
cell. 8 cell.
4
Like,
cell. 4
what
cell.
large
cell.
money firms
6
are
cell. 4
makers
cell.
incentivized
Five.
to exaggerate moves or compress moves? Surely exaggerate them because of how it works. How do I get access to that data as a sort of pre-market prep
5. 5.
and so I can correlate it in my studies? I don't want to add junk to an already unprofitable system for now, but I think that's really, if it does affect this price action by that significant of a margin, because the conditions of today are unlike any other conditions I've ever seen, it's definitely worth looking at as a form of pre-market prep, or at least something like ETF inflows,
Recentered.
Neanderthal like that.
5 cell.
12.
12. 5.
But I'm mainly thinking options data because I know they play a significant
Five
role,
cell.
at least in the spoos. How do I get to it for free? I can just get like a gamma. I don't know how it acts or
4. 5.
behaves. I don't have time to study it. But like, gammas forward today, they're going to exaggerate price movements or whatever. I get short ones here just blindly because delta's pretty
14.
good. I'm not interested in fading it. I most likely would have gotten ran over this entire session.
4 cell.
Recentered. Recentered. Recentered.
I would have chased another short
cell.
here too. So
9 cell.
4.
slipped 2 ticks just now
4. 5.
in my favor. Would have scratched the trade on momentum slowing.
7 cell. 5
Kept the
cell.
short end
4
again.
cell.
Short
4
twos.
cell.
Looking for a
5.
breakout
5.
lower on
4.
tape.
5. 4. 5.
Lost here. I wouldn't have flipped yet. Flipped long. Even the buyer showed, I would have gotten short again here
4 cell.
because the
4
tape is so
cell.
heavy. I would have lost again there. You were talking about my level obsession. I wouldn't have gotten
Recentered.
short again. I probably would have flipped because I don't want to hit short 3 times there. But there's another short at 2s here in a second.
10.
5.
I wouldn't have gone short though because the tape is just blowing up. It's quiet now. I'm not even gonna mention where it is on the profile. Just gonna watch the tape.
5 sell.
18 sell.
5 buy.
8 sell.
A lot of meta orders selling here.
Recentered.
4 sell.
It just blew up. I mean, the tape just
20
blew
buy.
out on meta orders. It's insane.
16 sell.
Seller's market. If you can piece
10
this
sell.
day to any sort of information at all,
Sell.
maybe news events and how the market reacts to those news events,
4 buy.
this looks pretty normal.
Recentered. Recentered.
Normal, but it's 10:06 p.m. right now, 5:60.
Recentered.
You can look at the news, look at it.
5
This is
sell.
insane.
4 sell.
10.
2 buy. 6 sell. 4 buy. 4 buy. 6 buy. 5 buy.
80 buy.
Spoofing. It pulls.
8 recentered.
Market now. Delta and meta
Four
orders
sell.
are moving in lockstep like sellers were, but on the buy side this time. Feeling more comfortable from the long
Recentered.
reason than going short. I would chase along at ones here.
Four,
Just a
five.
selling point. I'd throw my scratch and probably take a scratch because
6 buy. 5 sell.
it's
Four,
pressure on
five.
the move.
4 sell.
10 sell.
Bit of a pullback.
Recentered.
Once again. Depends on the tape though.
4 sell.
9 sell. 9 sell. 17 sell.
5 sell.
35 sell.
10 sell.
Sitting
4
there.
buy. 4 buy.
No ask.
18
buy.
recentered.
Buy. 5 buy.
Delta instead. Flip long.
4 buy.
Nice.
5 buy.
Scratch. Long ends again.
Four,
Scratch.
buy. 4 sell. 4 buy.
9
Buy. 4 5 buy.
recentered.
5 buy.
Recentered.
Buy. 4 buy. 5 buy. 7 buy. 5 buy. 7
Recentered.
4 sell. 4 sell. 5 buy. 5 buy.
15
buy. 4 buy.
I'm long buyer's market.
29
buy.
I'd be willing to move my stop to tick slower, but I just have to wait for them to clear and re-enter and kind of take it on the chin if they blew me out. The ask lifting at VPOC, which it most likely did, but
4
there's
sell.
nothing you can do. I have to
Five,
manage
buy.
risk, and I'm not
6
willing to pull my
buy.
stop to
4
ticks
sell.
and start fooling
4
around,
sell.
especially when
10.
I'm 3-4
Buy.
days into
Five,
trading the
buy.
NASDAQ with the
4
squawk. I'd rather just learn.
6 buy.
Recentered.
Buy. 4 buy. 6 buy.
Market
9 37
buy.
buy.
Long again here.
37.
4 buy. 6
So on the tape blowing up again, and the fact that the sellers did the same thing in the market, I've never seen it like this.
12
buy.
13.
Buy.
looks like
Five
you
cell.
obviously have to be very dynamic in your personality because this day and some of the other days are not the same at all. Much different in order flow composition. There's so much meta order flow here, it's nuts.
4 cell. 5.
There's a short here. Mainly on delta, but I would have lost it. It's actually an absorption of delta alone, which is the better decision at volume
4,
point of
5.
control, which is where institutions position anyway. It's a good long in hindsight. Now there might be a short here.
4 5. 4 cell. 5 4 cell.
49.
Cell. 11 cell. 4 5. 5 cell. 5 cell. 5 cell. 4 5 6 cell. 8 cell. 4 5. 4 cell. Cell. 5 cell. 5 cell. 5 cell.
Iceberg at 3, ask side. Should be
4
short at
5.
4s here,
Cell.
off the berg.
8. Cell.
4 5. 4 cell.
I think from an S&P 500 perspective, assuming it was a real order, we might go back to that iceberg at 3s, I think it was. It's absorbed. I say that and then the Q moves 4 ticks lower in one direction on cell delta. I'm not getting the message. Conditions are unidirectional today. I'm gonna have to watch this again.
4 cell.
10.
5. 4 cell. 4 cell.
9. Cell.
4.
9. Cell.
4 cell.
10. Cell. Recentered.
There's a long at 7 here.
5 cell.
That was a fade because of how much the tape moved
5
against
cell.
buyers and how nothing happened.
6 sell 6
Berg at 7, bid side. Cheater hedge. If you have that file, you can look it up and index it. The Berg might crack just because I recognize it as a Berg just now. I said that it pretty much cracked temporarily. Options are beat now.
4 5
One tick spread, market making. Not
4
much of an edge
5
here.
5 5 6 5 4 5 6 sell
Buy delta absorbed, market making. Reason for entry was right there. I'd get short 6 and try
5
to catch a
sell
scratch. Sell delta now. They hit
10
this
sell.
VPOC out, pressure kicks in. Breakout short 7 at VPOC.
10 sell.
Waiting for meta orders.
Recentered.
Not the same conditions though. I'd put my scratch in here.
5
Recentered.
11 sell
Recentered.
Tick in, hitting again.
15.
sell
Your
10
nines.
sell. 15 sell.
5 5
Utility's drying up.
8
I
sell.
hold the trade still.
Recentered.
I still believe in the momentum. That's
Recentered. Recentered.
Explodes. 300
8
meta
sell.
orders on the ask. Blowing out. It was only 10:17 in the morning. I mean, that's like 9 tick range. I'd wait till they pull back a bit. Make note of that because I'll get short immediately and get blown out on these pullbacks and get money back.
15 sell. 9 sell.
I'd get short now again after the pullback on the bid because I could lift it. Tape's quieted up now, which doesn't work in my favor, but I'd throw my scratch in now if I was short ones. Because tape's quiet.
Recentered.
I'd end up losing the trade. No meta order buying though. I'd get short again.
5
8
Now there's meta order buying.
18
5
18
37
5
I'd scratch and flip.
4 sell
I'd scratch again and flip short again because the buying sucked.
Recentered. Recentered.
5
Recentered.
4 sell
The moment I said that, I just puked like
49 5
So I'll illustrate it to you. We saw this huge sell pressure from the ask that blew price out 7 ticks after moving 1 tick forward, 1 tick backward. I don't know. I don't know what happened or what drove this move today or the price action behavior of the market today. Spooks is still at value. We had that huge tick. We had that huge tick move, 7 tick move off of that. And then what I'll do is I'll look for a vacuum or try to get long, thinking that I'm going to miss out, sort of fear of missing out, and end up getting burnt on the fluctuation, on the burn of the downside. Typically, I'll win one, lose one, which is terrible. So what I just illustrated now is instead of that, waiting to see if there's a turn in meta order buyers, not the spoofing of the queue, because right, that's just the illustrative part. You know, algorithms provide liquidity and also spoof to gather information and to front run and do all this other stuff, but fundamental value is largely moved by meta orders, large size orders, right? So I'd wait it out and see if buyers can take it to the upside on meta orders, or at least some sort of aggressive exaggeration from limit orders, and then maybe try to push delta in. What happened this time was, you know, it rallied a tick after selling off that far and tape quieted, and then you saw a little bit of initiative buying to the upside and immediately boom. So it would have been a bunch of scratches and then like one good short.
39 buy,
5 sell, 5 buy, 4 sell, 4 sell, 10 sell, 13 sell, 5 sell, 4 buy, 5 sell,
I would scratch
4
here if I
sell,
was short.
8 sell,
5 sell,
I wouldn't flip long yet because there's no confirmation of the tape. Just a vacuum of size to the upside.
recentered,
Not sure if I'd put a trade on here because the conditions are gone. So it's probably just back and forth.
4 buy,
recentered, recentered,
4 sell, 4 sell,
Sell again. Looks exaggerated this time. I'd look for a fade here
25
buy,
on bids,
5
on meta order
sell,
bids. Like long threes is what I'd look for.
4 sell, 5
It's
sell,
less on the queue
7
mainly
buy,
and just on the meta orders. They get absorbed on limits. I'm not seeing the response from meta orders I wanted on the bid. I got him because
7
I won
buy,
the trade, but I got him because the tape was
4
mixed
sell,
and
4
I have to go
sell,
back and watch the second half of the move again because we
4
shot
sell,
lower again.
8
The tape
sell,
5 sell,
was convoluted this time.
4 buy,
recentered,
four buy,
recentered,
5 sell, 4 buy,
recentered,
4 buy,
recentered, recentered,
4 sell, 4 sell,
25
buy,
Yeah, the
5
tape there,
sell,
the pressure from sellers that time it was much weaker and more mixed.
4
It's good for a
sell,
fade.
5 sell, 7 buy, 7 buy, 4 sell, 4 sell, 4 sell, 5 sell, 4 sell, 5 buy,
It's like they're playing chicken with the queue market makers.
recentered,
Little pop.
recentered,
4 buy, 5 buy,
3 ticks.
7 sell, 5 5 buy. 4 sell. 5 sell. 4 buy.
Just a reminder, this isn't trade review, it's just tape and me narrating it. I didn't trade today.
5 sell.